Hey everyone! Today we're diving into one of the most magnificent empires in all of history, the Mughal Empire. Now, they left behind these monuments of absolutely breathtaking beauty, but you'll see that the story of their rise and fall is just as epic.
When you think of the Mughals, your mind probably jumps straight to this, the Taj Mahal. I mean, even UNESCO calls it a universally admired masterpiece, and let's be honest, who's going to argue with that? It's more than just a building. It's an icon, a true symbol of India.
But you know, this incredible structure, it's really just one single piece of a much bigger story. So who were the people who built it? And how in the world did they manage to create an empire that would dominate the Indian subcontinent for centuries? Well, let's find out.
To really understand a jewel like the Taj Mahal, first, we've got to understand the crown it came from. The story of the Mughal Empire is just one of immense power, incredible wealth, and of course, unbelievable artistry.
And that story, well, like so many empires, it kicks off with conquest.
So meet Babur. He was a ruler from Central Asia, and with some serious military muscle from the powerful Ottoman and Safavid empires, he set his sights on the vast plains of North India. In 1526, he goes up against the Sultan of Delhi, and with that one single victory, the Mughal Empire was born. Just like that.
So that first battle in 1526, that was the spark. But it takes more than one victory to build an empire, right? A second huge win in 1556 really cemented their control. But it was by 1600, under Babur's grandson, the brilliant Emperor Akbar, that the whole sophisticated imperial system that would define the Mughals was really locked in. This guy, he was the true architect of the empire.
And have a look at this. This is what the empire looked like right after that first conquest, around 1530. It wasn't this massive, subcontinent-spanning thing yet, not by a long shot, but it was a powerful, strategic foothold in the north, a perfect base from which to grow.
Okay, now let's jump forward to 1605, when Akbar was in charge. Wow, the growth is just staggering. They pushed out in pretty much every direction, swallowing up huge new territories and all the people in them. The empire was now, without a doubt, a dominant force.
And by the early 1700s, under Emperor Aurangzeb, the empire hit its absolute peak. We're talking 4 million square kilometers, covering almost the entire Indian subcontinent. This, right here, was the Mughal Empire at the very height of its power.
But, conquering all that land is one thing. Actually governing it, that is a whole different ballgame. So how on earth did they manage an empire of this scale?
Get a load of this number. At its peak, the empire ruled over 158 million people. To put that in perspective for you, that was a massive chunk of the entire world's population at the time. So how'd they pull it off?
Well, their system for ruling was, frankly, genius. It wasn't just about brute force. They built this super efficient central government. The empire's incredible wealth came from taxes on agriculture, and those taxes were paid in a standardized silver currency that connected the tiniest village to the global economy. And this is the really clever part. They brought local elites into their government. They chose cooperation over constantly trying to suppress everyone. The system was the engine that powered the whole thing.
So what was the result of all this smart governance? Well, something pretty remarkable. More than 100 years of relative peace. And that kind of stability, it fueled a massive economic boom. As demand for Indian goods exploded all over the world, just immense wealth flowed right into the Mughal court.
But as we all know, a golden age of peace and prosperity like that, well, it couldn't last forever. Like all great empires, the Mughals eventually had to face a long, slow decline.
So where did it start to go wrong? Well, a lot of historians point to the year 1707, when Emperor Aurangzeb died. Now, he's the one who expanded the empire to its largest size, but his endless, incredibly expensive wars in the Deccan region had completely drained the treasury and stretched the whole imperial system to its absolute breaking point.
And the contrast, it is just night and day. Look at the Golden Age. 4 million square kilometers, a dominant world power with incredible wealth pouring in from trade. Now compare that to the period of decline. The empire shrank to just the area around Delhi. Its wealth was totally gone, and its power was eventually wiped out completely by the British.
The final century and a half was really just a slow, steady collapse. After 1720, the whole central structure just starts to fall apart. By 1760, it was basically an empire in name only. And then the final chapter came in 1857, when the British exiled the very last Mughal emperor and formally dissolved the empire for good.
But here's the thing, the end of the empire wasn't the end of its story. Not even close. The incredible wealth and artistic vision of its golden age left behind a legacy that is simply impossible to ignore.
And that brings us right back to where we started. See, the Taj Mahal isn't some isolated wonder. It's part of this incredible constellation of architectural masterpieces the Mughals left behind. From the mighty Red Fort in Delhi to the stunning Shalimar Gardens in Lahore, these UNESCO World Heritage Sites, they're the enduring physical proof of the empire's power, its wealth, and its vision.
So even though the empire itself is gone, its influence is everywhere. And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. Beyond these magnificent buildings, how does a 300-year dynasty continue to shape the culture, the art, and even the nations of South Asia today? Now that is a legacy far more enduring than stone.